Well, there you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed today's upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is your support, after all, that keeps this channel growing and going, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we all deserve, so thank you. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and friends. These creatures are real. They are out there and dangerous. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless. I wanted to share with you guys a case that none of these cases are anything but horrifyingly saddening for the friends and family. But there is one case that I had stumbled across about a year and a half ago that was actually, the thing that was humorous about it was the wife's actions and comments, and the media and the law enforcement and how they worded everything in the cover-up story. I finally dug through. This is 3 years of research on unanswered animal attacks. 2 folders. I mean, I had to dig through all of that to find this story to share with you guys. And I'm super excited that I found it, because it really shows you how the media thinks we're retarded. They really think we have not a clue in our brain about anything. You know, they really think that we are just sheep, and whatever they feed us, we'll eat and just take it. So I really want you to really listen to how idiotic this is. All right. We'll start from the first page here. University of Calgary professor has died in suspected bear attack. The identity of the deceased man, found near Waipress Creek in the early hours of May 5th, has been confirmed. Dr. David Lertzman, a senior professor at the University of Calgary at the Haskan School of Business, has died in what is suspected to be a bear attack. The well-known professor, Dr. Lertzman, research had a focus on sustainable development and leadership with Indigenous people. His most recent work was dedicated to better understanding and improving the social, ecological, and cross-cultural performance of the Indigenous community and energy sector. Lertzman was said to be an avid outdoorsman, Alberta Fish and Wildlife is working with the RCMP, the Medical Examiner's Office, to determine what kind of animal or animals were involved. The area will remain closed as officers attempt to capture the animal. Okay, what's wrong with that first one, you're wondering? Well, unless you didn't catch it, because we don't. When we're reading this stuff in the online or in the newspaper, my parents still buy the paper and read a physical paper. So that's why I say newspaper a lot. Now, we don't really kind of register everything that's put. We read the title, right? And then the body is what we focus on mostly. University of Calgary professor has died in a suspected bear attack. Okay, boom, right off the bat. And then it says, Alberta Fish and Wildlife is working with RCMP, the Medical Examiner's Office, to determine what kind of animal or animals were involved. You just told us it was a bear attack right off the start. Now you don't know what it is. So we're supposed to trust you because you're lying to us right from the rip. Can't do it. Now it gets even better, and God bless this poor man. And I'm not laughing at this man's loss of life. I'm laughing at the stupidity of how everything was written. So let's get into that real quick. Grizzly bear still on the loose after killing professor in Calgary and escaping traps. The hunt for a bear that killed a Canadian professor has been scaled back after traps failed to capture the female grizzly before she fled the area. Almost 3 weeks after David Lertzman's body was found in northwest Calgary, local government officials announced they removed baited traps as the bear was no longer in the area of the attack in Waiparous Creek. The University of Calgary professor went missing on the 4th of May after going for a run near the Moss Trail, with Alberta Justice and Solicitor General spokeswoman Ina Lucilla saying he was killed by a mature female bear. Because there hasn't been any bear activity detected in the past couple of weeks, officers have removed the traps to mitigate the risk of inadvertently attracting other predators to the area, she told the National Post. While the Alberta Justice and Solicitor General's office did not immediately respond to the Independent, Ms. Lucilla told the Post that action could be taken against the bear as the investigation continued into the death. Action could be taken against the bear. Why don't you just say you're going to euthanize it instead of making it sound like it's a court case? Wait, because you're a solicitor and you want to make everything sound professional. Secondly, how do you know it was a female bear? There was no sighting of a female bear in the area. No one had seen one. Plain and simple. No one stated they saw a bear in this area. It is not known whether the female grizzly was accompanied by cubs, but based on evidence, a single bear was involved in the attack, Miss Lucilla said to the Post in an email. At this point, it does not appear to be a predatory attack. Mr. Lertzman, who was 59 at the time of his death, taught environmental management and sustainable development as an assistant professor at the University of Hascan School of Business. The school's dean, Dr. James DeWalt, said Mr. Lertzman had worked at the university since 2000 and was a friend to all, a spiritual leader who was committed to their indigenous connections. His wife, Sarah Lertzman, posted to Facebook that her beloved partner was trail running as he does twice daily to maintain a deep connection to nature. He was attacked by a bear from behind and pushed off a very high embankment, 300 meters, and was found near a river, Miss Lertzman wrote. It gets better. I had searched for him myself for 2 hours early in the night and walked right past the point of the attack, and I saw no sign of it. I was looking for a man in trouble, and not for a scene of something that happened, she adds. I did not know the risk to myself at that moment, and I am truly blessed that nothing happened to me, as the officers reminded me repeatedly later that night. Miss Lucilla told the Post that the trails north of Waiparis Village would remain closed while Alberta Fish and Wildlife officials continue to monitor the area for future signs of the bear. She said the closure would be enforced and anyone entering the area could be fined, and that people should remain calm, back away, and find somewhere to hide if encountering a bear. While the grizzly may have posed a further danger to Miss Lurchman during the search or other visitors to the area, she had kind words for the bear that took her husband's life. We felt the bear's spirit transition too. It was as if they were wrapped around each other, she wrote. What? Hang on 1 second. So, I'm sorry I had to hit pause really quick because it's the strangest statements were made. Like, the bear had a connection. We transitioned together. What? First of all, you're telling us that a bear walked up behind your husband. First of all, there's no evidence of a bear in the area. They mentioned no prints, no anything, nobody seeing anything. But yet, this female bear with cubs that has never been seen came up behind this guy and pushed him off a cliff. And then his wife is walking around and she doesn't know what she's looking for. She's not looking for a place where a skirmish happened. No, she's looking for her body of her husband. Well, if you're looking for your husband, aren't you going to notice like where a skirmish happened? Wouldn't you be looking for that? I would be. And then you're going to a location where you believe your husband was attacked by a bear, but you don't think you're in danger until the officers tell you? I don't even know what to say. I don't know. I think the media is stupider than they think we are. So then shortly after this one came out, and it's almost the same. Grizzly bear that killed a beloved University Calgary professor has not been located in traps. He was found off the Moss Trail. It had been determined that he'd been killed by a mature female grizzly. That mature female grizzly came up and pushed him off the area. They didn't want to leave traps out because inadvertently they'd bring in more predators. So predators are apparently attracted to traps. Baited traps, I can see, but how many? Never mind. The message is what gets me the craziest, is this spiritual connection, this and that. I mean, do you really honestly think that the media, on top of telling us that this bear had she said she later learned her husband had been charged by the bear from behind and pushed over a 300-meter embankment. The wounds were consistent with an instantaneous death, so he suffered very little. This was important for me to know. I have no idea what people think anymore. She expressed no anger toward the bear, writing that she felt a spiritual connection to her husband while being comforted by friends soon after his death. We felt the bear spirit transition too. Then it gets even stranger. All right. 40 miles away, about a month later. Now, this is strange because you'll catch it. Calgary, Alberta Fish and Wildlife confirms the grizzly bear. Hang on one second. Yes, okay. Alberta woman dies in suspected bear attack northwest of Calgary, weeks after bear killed man 40 kilometers away. Alberta Fish and Wildlife staff are investigating a woman's death northwest of Calgary as a suspected bear attack, but say it's far too early to know if it's related to the fatal attack on the man just weeks ago, 40 kilometers away. RCMP said Wednesday that they received a call at 7 p.m. Tuesday about the sudden death near Water Valley in Mountain View County, about 80 kilometers northwest of Calgary. A unit was dispatched to the area, but once officers determined it was a possible bear attack, they contacted Alberta Fish and Wildlife. RCMP confirmed 68-year-old woman had died while Fish and Wildlife said the death occurred on private land southwest of Water Valley. The individual had gone for a walk on their property and was found deceased on one of their trails, Fish and Wildlife said in a written statement to CBS News. People in Water Valley area are being warned to take precautions and to be vigilant while outdoors. Excuse me. Officers are still determining the identity of the bear, but a grizzly bear and her cub were seen in the vicinity of the incident. The sow is exhibiting extreme aggressive behavior, Fish and Wildlife said. Officers have put up traps in the area. In early May, a Calgary University professor, David Lertzman, was fatally attacked by a bear in Waiparis Village area about 40 kilometers south of Tuesday's apparent attack. Fish and Wildlife officers say they do not yet have information to indicate whether the two incidents were linked. How is a guy getting pushed off a cliff a bear attack? Is that... My thoughts is this dude saw straight up Dogman and said, holy blank, I'm jumping. Because you want to know, there's been, well, this area is Banff and, give me 1 second. Banff Park. All right. Now, if you Google Banff and Dogman, or you look up Banff, Bigfoot Banff encounters, BANIFF, you will pull up encounters and sightings. It's just plain and simple. Now, we're not done yet. Okay, so now you're telling us that you saw a bear, a female bear, with babies, little cubs, the same as this guy, but you didn't see any with the professor, but you saw him with this lady. So a month ago, you made the assumption. Now you probably are making the same assumption and lying, saying that you saw him. Because wait, it's better. Calgary, Alberta Fish and Wildlife confirms the grizzly bear that killed a woman near Water Valley last week has been captured and euthanized. Officers captured 2 female grizzlies on Saturday near the site of a fatal May 25th attack in the community approximately 60 kilometers northeast of Calgary. One of the bears, a mature post-prime sow with extremely worn teeth, was confirmed to be the bear responsible for the woman's death on the trail on private property. This decision is never made lightly. When it's made, it's to prevent more attacks by this particular bear. Fish and Wildlife said the second bear was lactating but did not appear to be actively nursing, given her milk supply and appearance that her cubs were not with her. She was released back into the wild. The agency has removed all traps in the area. You've got two mature post-prime bears. One's lactating for some reason. But, hang on one second, I gotta let my kitten out. One's lactating, but no cubs. One is past its prime, worn teeth. That's the one you kill. Why? Because you knew it wasn't a bear. You knew darn well a bear didn't do this. But you needed to kill one. So don't kill the one that still could possibly be cub bearing. Kill the one that's past its prime and move forward. These are the strangest cases. This is out of last year. Some of the strangest cases that I have ever heard in my entire life. I don't understand. I don't understand the media or the government, and I don't know why they lie. I know they lie, and you know they lie, but I don't know. It'd be easier just to tell the truth, I think. Now, this next case is very strange because well, I don't know what to make of it, and I don't know if anyone knows what to make of it. So I'm going to share it with you, and then we can move forth. But here's something that I wanted to talk about real quick. Now, I went and I looked through all of the bear attacks that I have, and I shared with you guys yesterday the case where the father of four had been brutally attacked by a bear. Yet they're not looking for it. Why? Because it wasn't a predatory attack. But in any non-predatory attack, they do look for the bear. Because an accidental attack is still an attack on a human. All right? So right there, that doesn't make sense to me. That's telling me that straight across the board was a Dogman, and they know, and they don't want to waste any time, money, effort, or human lives looking for that creature. That's pretty much what it sounds like to me. I hope it sounds like that way for you guys. If it doesn't, let me know, because maybe I just read too friggin' deep into these things. But I don't think I am. I really don't. Actually, when I go in and I start looking at these cases, I usually, before I make a video about them, I talk to my dad about them, and I talk to one to two friends about them, and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? Does this sound strange to you? And if they say yeah, that's when I make the video. All right, I just don't go boom, make the video, and just start. These cases just annoy me, and they make me upset because human lives are lost. Fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, children are dying, and no one cares. But if it was freaking the government or some bigwig millionaire in Thad that went to Harvard, got attacked, and Thad got found by, they'd immediately do something, wouldn't they? But because it's a middle-class American or lower middle-class American, they don't give a crap about us. They care about Thad and Harvard. Just kidding. I'm just being a dick now. Sorry. And this is another article that was in the same vicinity. An Alberta wildlife and conservation expert said it's unlikely that a hiker who was rescued following a grizzly bear encounter at Waterton Lakes National Park was ever in danger and overreacted out of his own fear. Former Banff Park Superintendent Kevin Van Tighem said he also bothered by the sensationalized coverage of bear encounter. That really triggered me, added Van Tighem. Eric Macapus was hiking in the Mount Crandall area of Waterton Saturday when he came across a female grizzly bear and its cub. I heard a growl in my back. Like, what was that? According to Macapus, the bears were about 12 meters away when he first saw them. The cub began following him up the mountain. He said he scrambled to the summit, twisting his ankle in the process. When he reached the top, he called 911 for help and remained at the summit for over 5 hours before he could be airlifted to Cranbrook, BC. The bears left while Macapus was waiting. That's my first experience, so I was worried about being eaten by bears. It was just crazy. But Van Tighem said by the hiker's description of the events, it's unlikely he was ever in danger and overreacted out of his own fear. Van Tighem has written more than 200 articles, stories, essays on conservation and wildlife, and is author of Bears Without Fear, a book summary points out of the risk of an automobile accident on the way to bear country far outstrips the risk of a close-range encounter with a bear. It just bothers me that people jump to conclusions that every bear encounter is dangerous. It sounds like that was actually a wonderful gift for him, an experience to be in the vicinity of a grizzly that weren't being aggressive or threatening him. Van Tighem says it's likely the bears were just foraging and traveling on the mountain and had already accepted his presence. If he had gone by the bear and the bear came out behind him, it knew he was there and had already determined he wasn't a threat. Van Tighem said it was obvious that the bear didn't chase the hiker. If the bear had chased him, it would have caught him. Van Tighem maintains the only thing that made the encounter scary was the fear the hiker felt. Macapus said he hopes people can learn from his experience. He just wants to remind people to make noise while hiking to ward off unwanted animals. Have their bear spray handy and carry a portable phone charger in case you need it. Van Tighem agrees people need to carry the appropriate equipment, but also have responsibility to educate themselves if they plan to go hiking in bear country. Going blindly in bear country without any sense of what to make of it when you see a bear is not really a smart thing to do. It's not a responsible thing to do. He added to turn it into a survival story as opposed to an interesting and unique wildlife encounter doesn't do any good for people or the bears. That fear kills bears, said Van Tighem. So, that gentleman, Van Tighem, is an expert on bear. This guy sees a female with its cub. We are always told females are dangerous when they have cubs. Hence the 2 articles prior to this one, right? Female with cubs, aggressive. All this article says to me is simply that these 2 attacks prior were not a bear. Why? Well, it's obvious. First, a bear doesn't walk up behind somebody and push them off a cliff, nor does a post-prime bear with dull teeth attack someone to eat them. Makes no sense. This is this guy Van Tighem is very smart, and I'm glad I stumbled across this article a while back because, and he's the Banff Park superintendent, so he's not a joke. He's not a slouch. He's not just some, like, you know, suit and tie bureaucrat that had studied bears in college and had never had an encounter with one or seen one in the wild. This guy had seen them for a long time and knew the behavior. The behavior in the two cases that I just shared with you is not bear behavior. It's just not. Just like the gentleman who was found dead in Montana. And that right there, by going back and looking at those cases, those bear attacks, even if it was a non-predatory attack, because like I said yesterday, I believe 40% are cryptid related, 60 are not. But even if it's not a predatory attack, they are going to set traps up. Why? Because they don't want another accident happening. Simple as that. But yet, they lie to us just to, I don't know. I don't know why they lie. Why do they lie? Life would be easier if they didn't. Move a lot slower, or a lot faster pace. It'd be, you know, not faster pace, but it'd be more smooth. At least those of us who are in the know would know that we are not crazy aluminum foiled hat wearing people, which we all know we're not. And the people that think we are, then we can look at them and say, we told you so. This is why we've warned you guys to be prepared, look around, know your surroundings, stay armed, stay intelligent. Simple as that. Well, folks, greetings and salutations. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have an interesting upload to share with you. Some very terrifying information coming from a retired Department of Natural Resource officer, and a couple video clips. Before we jump into it though, a couple links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click the like button. It takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click that bell icon. And folks, please leave a comment. Why? Well, because all of these things really do help this channel to continue to grow and go. And yes, folks, they definitely do matter. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to today's upload, shall we?